Hello, good day learners. In today's video, I'm going to teach you about making financial plan. This is a personal financial plan made for grade 7 learners as part of your performance task wherein dito nyo i-apply yung mga knowledge nyo about percentage and also your skills in solving money problems. So what are the tools na kailangan natin? Okay, we have here our calculator. This is an option because you can also do this without calculator, pero para mas mabilis, we can make use of our calculator. What else? Later on, we are going to make a pie chart. So, kailangan din natin gumamit ng mga tools na ito, which I'm sure you are familiar with, protractor, and yung paggamit natin ng compass, which is optional din. You can do a pie chart without these tools as well. Okay? So, without further ado, let us begin. Financial plan is planning for our finances or yung pag-manage ng ating pera. Okay, so this involves our managing income, managing expenses, managing our savings and also goals, financial goals. Dito na papasok yung budgeting or how we manage our money at a certain period of time. Okay, now bakit mahalaga itong topic na ito sa inyo? As a grade 7 student, I believe this is one of the most important lesson na kailangan nyong matutunan kasi kahit na grade 7 pa lang kayo, as young as you are, mapapractice nyo na tong skill na ito. Kasi pagdating ng araw, ito yung isa sa pinaka-importanting lesson or skill na kailangan nyong malaman at may apply nyo sa inyong mga buhay. Okay, so simulan na natin. Okay, take note, ang financial plan po na ito ay personal financial plan for grade 7 students. So there are different kinds of financial plan. Meron po tayong family financial planning, meron din po tayong future event budgeting or future career budget, investment planning, and so on and so forth. But ito po yung ma-apply muna natin sa inyong case, mga grade 7 students. Okay, the first part na kailangang makita sa inyong financial plan is your income. Okay, so ano po itong income na ito? You are not yet working, you are still a student. So saan po natin to makukuha? This is the money we receive. So for you as a student, this is your weekly allowance. So gagamit po tayo ng per week ngayon. Yun po yung practical sa inyong case as a student. So we'll have weekly allowance. Ito yung mga nakukuha natin from our parents or guardians, yung binibigay po sa atin. So all we have to do is to write here the amount of our weekly allowance. Another part of our income is yung mga gift or yung mga binibigay sa atin ng mga ibang tao. Like for example, our tito, our tita, or kung pinagwalis ka ng iyong lola, binigyan ka ng extra finances, pwede nyong idagdag dito every week, no? Isahin nyo siya. And then you're going to write the amount kung magkano ang nakukuha nyo per week. Okay, so i-estimate nyo na lang po siya. And then later on, we will now get the total weekly income. Now, paano naman kung walang other source of income? Ang talagang source lang is yung weekly allowance. Okay lang yan, kahit yun lang muna ang isulat natin. Now, paano kung as in talagang pati yung weekly allowance ay wala? Naiintindihan ko may mga ibang students na nagbabaon or malapit lang din yung mga bahay nila, so nilalakad lang nila. Or may mga iba talaga na as in wala pong weekly allowance. So it's okay lang po yan. Ang pwede nyong gawin doon, one alternative that we can do is to make use of hypothetical allowance. Or ibig sabihin, parang make up or kumbaga i-assume lang natin na meron tayong weekly allowance na pwede nating i-manage. Ang focus po ng ating activity is for you to practice yung skill, yung pag-manage ng resources or finances para paglaki nyo, alam nyo na ang gagawin nyo kung may mga kanya-kanya na kayong pagkukuhanan ng mga income. Okay? So, pwede yung teacher din, pwedeng magbigay ng mga hypothetical amount of weekly allowance na pwedeng i-manage ng mga students. Okay, so bigyan kita ng example. Halimbawa, ako ay isang grade 7 student. Hypothetically, binibigyan ako ng allowance na let's say 100 pesos daily. So pag kinumpute po natin yan in a week, it will be 500 pesos per week. Okay? Tapos during weekend, let's say pumupunta ako sa bahay ni Lola at ako'y naglilinis, naghuhugas ng pinggan, naglalaba or nagwawalis, at binibigyan ako ni Lola ng pera. Let's say binibigyan niya ako ng 100 pesos. Okay? Now, ano ang isusulat ko dito? I can say it's just a gift from Lola. Okay? Or grandmother. Okay? So, yun yung isang source of income ko. And wala na. So, yun lang po. Okay? Now, ang total weekly income natin, if we're going to add, so we have 500 plus 100, it will give us 600 pesos. Okay? Now, I'm going to use pencil kasi mamaya as we accomplish our financial plan, may mga changes na pwede nating baguhin. So, I advise that you use your pencil. Okay, now if you are done with this part, we can now proceed to the second part of our financial plan. Usually, ang kasunod ng income is yung expenses. Ito yung maalala kong tinuro sa amin nung kami pa ang student. Sabi doon, income, tapos after that, expenses. We just subtract expenses from income and we will now proceed to savings. Well, ito po ay traditional at actually, ito po ay hindi talaga siya effective, okay, na financial planning. Kaya ang ituturo ko po sa inyo ngayon is yung mas effective way how to manage our finances, which is, ang second part muna is yung ating financial goals. Okay, ano po itong financial goals? Now, these are the things you want to buy or save money for in the future. Ito yung magmo-motivate sa'yo para makapag-save ka muna. Okay, so there are 4 different examples here in my video wherein ang una is yung emergency fund. Ito yung pinaka-importante. Now, what is emergency fund? Emergency fund is designed specifically to cover yung mga unexpected expenses or financial emergencies such as yung job loss, nawalan ng trabaho, may medical emergency, may bagyo, may mga urgent repairs or whatsoever. It's meant to be a financial safety net, no? But in your case as a student, saan nyo magagamit itong emergency fund? So, you are going to answer what do you want to save for? Saan mo magagamit itong emergency fund? At gaano? Gaano kalaki? How much will you save for this emergency fund? Take note, ito yung inuna natin kasi before you have your personal goals, dapat alam mo muna yung emergency fund. Well, ang emergency fund, ideally 3 to 6 times the amount of your weekly income. Okay? Ibig sabihin, kung ang income natin is 600 pesos, dapat 3 to 6 times siya. Yun yung amount na kailangan mong ma-save muna. Okay? Ito yung magsisilbi mong buffer kung may nangyari mang hindi inaasahan. Okay, now as a grade 7 student, I am going to write here, for example, magagamit ko yung emergency fund ko kung meron kaming mga unexpected, pwede nating isulat dito, unexpected school expenses. Okay? Biglang nagkaroon ng group project, at kailangan mong mag-ambag. So, pwedeng yun yung isang reason. Another reason is, pwede mo ring isulat dito, lost school supplies or mga gamit sa school. Okay, so pwede mong isulat dito to replace lost school supplies. Kunyari nawala yung iyong protractor, pwede mong gamitin yung emergency fund mo para makabili ng protractor, or nahulog mo yung pera mo, o di at least meron kang emergency fund, meron kang buffer. Gaano kaya kalaki yung aking emergency fund? So sabi nga dito kanina, 3 to 6 times our weekly income. So ano yung weekly income natin? Balikan natin, it's 600 pesos. Ano ba ang 3 to 6 times ng 600 pesos? Okay? Now, as a student, medyo malaki masyado ata yung 6 times. Kaya siguro dun muna ako sa minimum. Okay? So, ano ba ang 600 times 3? Okay. It will be 1,800 pesos. Okay? Yan yung igugol ko na aking emergency fund. So, pag iipunan ko ito, pag-iipunan ko ito hanggang sa ma-reach ko yung 1,800 pesos. Now, ang purpose nito, pag nakaipon na ako ng ganitong amount at nagamit ko for emergency, ay at least pwede na ulit nating dagdagan yung ating emergency fund hanggang sa mabuo ulit yung ating 1,800 pesos. Now next is yung ating short-term goal. Okay? Ano itong short-term goal? Okay, these goals, financial goals, might take a few weeks to a few months to achieve. Yung mga short-term lang na gusto mong ipag-ipunan. Halimbawa, magbigay tayo ng example ng short-term goals. Halimbawa, may gusto kang bilhin na gamit, halimbawa libro o kaya ay video game na gusto mong pag-ipunan for a few weeks or months, pwede yon dito, pwede mo siyang isulat. Aside from that, pwede ka ring mag-ipon for your school event. Halimbawa, may inaabangan kang school event or di kaya ay field trip, class party, lalo na ngayon, malapit na po ang Pasko. So, most probably, kailangan nating mag-ipon for our gifts. So, pwede mong isulat dito. Okay? And other things na gusto mong pag-ipunan, personal things na gusto mong pag-ipunan within a few weeks or 6 months. Ang isusulat ko dito is, let's say, I want to save for upcoming Christmas party. Okay, I want to save for the Christmas party. I'm going to write here the amount. Okay, gusto kong bigyan ng regalo yung aking kaibigan o yung crush ko. Let's say, susulat ako dito. Ilan kaya ang ilalagay ko dito? Let's say, worth na kaya ko is 300. Okay, pag-iipunan ko yan, 300 pesos. Okay, malaki na rin yan kahit papano. Okay, 300 pesos. Yan, so pwedeng gift sa sarili mo, pwede mo ring gift sa iyong mga magulang or anything you want to save for. Okay, next one is the long-term goal. Ano po itong long-term goal? Now, long-term goal might take a year or more to achieve. So, as a student, ano kaya yung mga pwede nyong mga long-term goal in financial goals? So, we can say gadget. Pwede kang mag-ipon for your cellphone, let's say smartphone, tablet. Okay, ano pa kaya? Yung mga iba pang kailangan yung pag-ipunan na medyo malalaki. Now, in my case, I'm going to write here, let's say I want to buy a electric scooter. O, yan po yung gusto ko as a student. Let's say electric scooter. Okay? Or bicycle. Pwede rin. So, magkano po kaya ito? Okay? Let's just estimate an amount. Pwede kayong mag-research ng specific na amount ng mga gusto nyong pag-ipunan. But in my case, I'm going to estimate, let's say, 5,000. Maganda-ganda na scooter. Okay, so 5,000 pesos. Okay, yung last one dito is yung dream goal. This is optional because this might take several years to achieve. Hindi lang isang taon, 2 years, or even more than 3 years. So, ito ay para sa mga gustong mag-goal ng mga malalaking purchases. Like for example, yung computer na quality, yung mga ganong bagay. Ito yung mga dream goal na yon. Okay? O, starting a business, even if you are still young, pwede rin naman. Okay? Pero take note, as a grade 7 student, you have to consider also yung inyong income. Okay? Kasi dito tayo talaga magbe-base. Kaya ito yung inuna natin para medyo practical pa rin yung ating mga goals na naka-inline pa rin siya kung ano yung natatanggap natin weekly. Baka kasi mamaya, ang dami nating goal dito na napakalaki pero yung income naman natin is hindi talaga siya pwede. Hindi niya kaya. Okay? So you have to be practical with your financial goals as well. Okay, pag tapos na tayo sa financial goal setting, we can now start with the breakdown of our savings. Okay? So dito sa savings, nandito na yung mga financial goals natin. Now, the question here is, how much are we going to save each week? And how long are we going to wait for us to reach our goal? So dalawang column po dito ang kailangan nating sagutan. Una, magkano ang isi-save natin for our goals kanina? And then, gaano katagal yung pag-save natin. So let's start with the first one, yung emergency fund natin. As we have discussed a while back, nag-goal na tayo na ang emergency fund natin is 3 times our weekly income. Therefore, it will be 1,800. Now, for our savings, magkano ang iaalat natin na savings natin sa isang linggo para mabuo yung 1,800? Now, you can decide. You can start with the time or you can start with the amount of savings. Pag inuna mo kasi itong time, ang ibig sabihin niyan, dapat ma-meet mo yung deadline mo, yung sarili mong deadline, para yung amount ng iyong saving mag-a-adjust. Kung mas mabilis yung time na gusto mo, dapat mas malaki din yung savings mo per week. Kung gusto mo naman na dito ka mag-i-start sa savings, it depends now here kung gaano katagal yung paghintay mo para mabuo yung amount na gusto mo. So let's start with this one first. How much will you save each week to reach your goal? So practically, kung gusto mong ma-reach yung 1,800, hindi naman pwedeng minsanan isi-save mo lahat ng allowance mo for your emergency fund. No. So siguro let's have a minimal amount lang. Ano? So let's say we have, sabihin na nating mag-save ka ng 50 pesos. Okay, 50 pesos per week. Okay, bakit 50 pesos per week kaagad? It can be your personal preference. For me, it's my personal preference kasi gusto ko mapondohan talaga kaagad yung emergency fund. So, paano natin yan i-compute? Ilang weeks ang kailangan natin para mabuo natin yung 1,800? We can compute. We can use actually our calculator. So, 50 pesos ang kailangan natin. I-divide natin si 50 pesos from 1,800. Okay, divide natin si 50 pesos. We will get 36 weeks. So, we can write here 36 weeks. Okay, pwede mo ring isulat kung gusto mo months or years, pwede rin. Ilang months ba ang 36? So, you can divide 36 by 4. Because in a month, there are 4 weeks, you will get 9 months. So itong 36 weeks na ito, it is equivalent to 9 months. So 9 months ka para makabuo ng iyong emergency fund na 1,800. Pero kung gusto mong mabilis, pwede mong dagdagan ito. Okay? Para mabuo mo kaagad yung emergency fund. Anyway, emergency fund, pag nabuo mo na siya, pwede ka nang mag-concentrate sa iba mo pang short-term goal. Next one is the short-term goal. Yung goal natin kanina is to save for the Christmas party or the gift that we're going to purchase, which is amounting to 300 pesos. Now, mahalaga yung time dito kasi Christmas nga, di ba? So, dapat yung time ang i-compute natin muna para by December ay nakapag-ipon ka na for the Christmas party. So, ilang weeks ba ang kailangan mo? So, if we're going to start this month of next month, September, kung September ka mag-i-start, you still have 4 months. So, ilang weeks yung 4 months? Remember, 4 weeks in 1 month. So, 4 times 4, we will get 16 weeks. So, kailangan nating mag-ipon within 16 weeks. Now, magkano ang iipunin natin kung kailangan natin na makaipon within 16 weeks? Remember, yung target natin is 300 pesos. So, you can just divide 300 by 16 weeks, you will get 18.75 per week. Ngayon, kung ganyan yung lumabas, mas maganda kung dagdagan na natin. So, instead of 18.75 ang isi-save natin, gawin na nating 20 pesos, no? Para wala nang butal. So, magsisave tayo ng 20 pesos per week para kung by the end of the 4 months, 20 times 16 weeks, we will get 320 o mas higit pa doon sa pag-iipunan natin. So pwede yun. Okay, pwede yun, class. Next one is the long-term goal. Ang long-term goal natin is to save for an electric scooter worth 5,000 pesos. Now again, this is hypothetical only. Pwedeng ang goal nyo ay mas maliit dito. Hindi necessarily naaabot ng 5,000. Okay lang yon. In our case, kung 5,000 ang pag-iipunan natin, we don't need to rush ourselves at unahin natin yung time. It's okay. Pwedeng mag-start tayo sa, let's say, 30 pesos per week. Or kung gusto mo talagang mabilis mo mapag-ipunan, pwede kang mag-start sa mas malaki pa. For example, gawin nating 30 pesos per week. Ilang weeks kaya ang kakailanganin natin para mabuo natin yung ating 5,000 long-term goal? So let's see. Just divide yung ating target goal, 5,000. Divide natin sa 30 pesos. So it will be 166.7 weeks. Okay? So estimately, magiging 167 weeks. So ilang buwan po kaya itong 167 weeks pwede nating i-compute? Okay? 167, i-divide natin sa 4. So there will be 41.75 months or let's say 42 months. Now, ilang buwan ba ang meron sa isang taon? Divide natin sa 12. We will get 3.5 years for you to complete yung 5,000. Pero huwag kayong mag-alala, remember long-term goal naman ito. Ibig sabihin, pwede pang mapabilis. Halimbawa, during your summer break, meron kayong may income aside from your weekly allowance during school days, pwede pang mapabilis yung pag-iipon nyo. Okay? So for now, let's just have 30 pesos. Okay? So total weekly savings natin, ang gagawin lang natin is i-add natin yung lahat. We have 50 plus 20 plus 30. It will be 100 pesos. Okay? 100 pesos na maikakaltas dun sa ating weekly income, which is 600 pesos. Now that we are done with our total weekly income na na-compute na natin kanina and then na-compute na rin natin yung total weekly savings, we are now ready to proceed to our expenses. Okay? Kagaya nga nung nasabi ko kanina before, what we are learning is income minus expenses. That's the time we will have the savings. Pero ang ituturo ko po sa inyo ngayon is hindi po ito kasi this is proven na hindi po effective. Instead, we will be using this formula. Income minus savings equals expenses. Doon na po tayo magko-compute ng ating expenses pag naibawas na natin yung mga savings. Okay, so let's start. First, dito po sa ating expenses, by the way, these are the money that we spent weekly for buying or paying for something. Okay, meron pong dalawang klase. We have here the needs and then the wants. Okay, basing from the word itself, alam naman po natin ang ibig sabihin ng needs. Ito yung mga kailangan. As a student, of course, yung mga kailangan nyo is yung mga nagagamit nyo sa inyong pag-aaral. Like for example, yung mga school supplies, transportation, food, school fees, and so on and so forth na inyong pinagagastusan every week. How about yung wants? Wants are the things that you want to buy, yung desire mo, pero hindi naman siya necessarily na kailangan. So, these are not necessarily important. So, treats, entertainment, accessories, social activities. Kunyari, gustong magpalibre nung classmates mo, nanlibre ka naman. So, those are just wants. Hindi naman po yon needs. Or may mga other snacks na gusto mong bilhin. Pagkain na hindi mo naman talaga kailangan. So, yung mga yon, mga candies and so on and so forth na binibili nyo, those are actually wants. Okay, start po tayo sa needs. Okay, so isusulat lang natin dito yung mga pinagagastusan natin and then yung amount na ginagastos natin per week para sa mga bagay na yon. Okay, hypothetically, I'm going to write here, of course, transportation. Importante po ito, lalo na kung tayo ay nagko-commute lang. Okay, yung pamasahe natin araw-araw, yun po yung kailangan nating gastusan. Okay, transportation. Let's say the amount for my transportation in a week is, compute natin. So using your calculator, you can compute or you can even estimate kung magkano ba yung ginagastos natin. So let's say 10 pesos ang round isang biyahe times 2 in a day, we get 20 pesos per day times 5, we will get 100 pesos. So, weekly amount for transportation is, I'm going to write here 100 pesos. Okay. What else? Halimbawa ay yung allowance ko po na 100 pesos per day, nandun na rin po yung aking lunch. Okay? Lunch and snacks. Okay, during recess. So magkano ba ang nagagastos sa isang araw? Susulat mo dito. So for example, yung aking lunch ay amounting to 50 pesos o di kaya ay 60 pesos plus snacks po na 10 pesos. Okay, 70 pesos times 5, we will get 350. Okay, so sulat natin dito 350 pesos per week. Okay, pwede mo ring idagdag dito yung mga ibang binabayaran nyo sa school, like for example, yung tubig sa classroom or other school supplies or school fees na kailangan nyo. Okay, example for once is, halimbawa, meron akong binibili araw-araw na sagot gulaman, okay, inumin, na worth 10 pesos. So, isulat ko dito, drinks. Drinks, pwede nating specify. Sagot gulaman. Okay. Ang presyo niya is 10 pesos per day. So, kung i-multiply natin yan sa 5 days in a week, it will be 50 pesos, okay, per week. Now, let's compute yung total amount. So, sa total needs natin, we have 100 plus 350. Okay, pag i-add natin yan, it will be 450 pesos. Next one for the wants. We only have one here, so it's just 50 pesos. Okay? Yan. Ngayon, dito sa next part, kailangan nating i-add ito kasi ito yung kabuuan ng expenses. Okay? So, if we're going to add these two, 450 plus 50, it will be, magkano po lahat? It will be 500 pesos weekly. Yun yung expenses ko. Okay, now that we have computed yung total weekly expenses, take note, dapat yung total weekly expenses natin plus yung ating weekly savings kanina, which is 100 pesos, dapat pag pinag-add natin itong dalawa, hindi siya lalagpas or dapat equal lang siya doon sa ating total weekly income. Okay? Para balance. Okay, remember, pag meron namang sobra, if you have money left over, pwede nating idagdag doon sa savings. Okay? Next, kung equal to 0 naman siya, pag pinag-subtract natin, it means balance. Okay? So, walang sobra, walang kulang, it's okay. Now, kung mas malaki talaga yung expenses mo plus yung savings mo kaysa sa income, you have a deficit. Ibig sabihin, you can adjust. Pwede kang mag-adjust dito sa mga wants mo. Pwede mong bawasan to kung gusto mo. Or kung gusto mo pang mas malaki yung savings mo, pwede namang tanggalin mo na ito. Okay? So, in this example, hindi naman kailangang bumili ka ng sagot gulaman every day. Pwede mo namang i-cut ito para yung additional 50 pesos per week ay maidadagdag mo pa doon sa iyong savings. Okay? So, yun po yung tatlong bagay na kailangan sa ating financial planning. Yung ating income, yung ating savings, and then yung ating expenses. Now, to finish our financial plan, dapat meron din tayong visual representation. Gagawa tayo ng pie chart. So, this is a visual representation of where your money goes in a week. So, paano tayo gagawa ng pie chart? I have here some instruction. Pwede nyo akong sundan kung paano ito gawin. Okay, so kailangan natin nung categories or yung slices ng ating pie chart and then yung percentage niya. Okay? Para mas madali, we will just divide it into 3 parts. Yung unang category natin is yung ating weekly savings. Next one is yung ating needs. And then lastly, yung ating wants. Okay, so in order for you to get the percentage, you get the amount of the category, yung total amount, i-divide mo sa total income, saka mo i-multiply sa 100. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Weekly savings natin. Ano ba ang weekly savings natin? Okay, so balikan natin yung nasulat natin kanina, which is 100 pesos. So, sulat natin dito 100. I-divide lang natin yan sa ating total weekly income, which is 600. 600. Tsaka natin i-multiply sa 100%. Therefore, malalaman na natin yung percentage. We can just input 100, divide natin sa 600. We will get 0.16 or 0.167. So repeating decimal po siya. Multiply natin sa 100. We will get 16.66 or 16, kung ira-round off man natin yan, 16.67%. Okay, next naman is yung needs, yung total needs natin kanina. We're going to go back to our computation. Okay, yung total needs natin is 450. Okay? Okay, so we have 450 divided by 600. 0.75 times 100. Or i-move lang natin yung decimal point 2 decimal places to the right. It will give us 75%. Okay. Next is yung wants. Okay. Going back to our computation kanina, yung wants natin is 50 pesos. Okay. So kung 50 pesos yan, okay, so 50 divided by 600 is 0.08333. Repeating decimal times 100 ulit. We will get 8.33%. So again, ito yung tatlong category natin na dapat maipakita natin sa ating pie chart. Okay, if you are going to do this, dapat make sure na meron kang enough space for your pie chart. Or you can even use this or do this solution sa ibang papel. To make the pie chart, I'm going to use a compass to make a circle. Pero pwede rin naman kayong gumamit ng ibang method para makabuo ng perfect circle for our pie chart. Okay, now that we have finished drawing our circle, we can now divide this into 3 sections or 3 portions basing from these 3 categories. So paano natin gagawin yon? Since bawat isa ay may kanya-kanyang percentage, gaano kalaki yung portion na i-divide natin? We can now apply here our knowledge on constructing angles using protractors at saka yung knowledge natin about the angle of a full rotation, which is 360. Okay, so 360 lahat to, i-divide natin sa tatlong slices basing from this percentage. So paano yon? Just multiply this percentage to 360. Okay, pero i-convert muna natin siya sa decimal. So i-move lang natin yung decimal point 2 decimal places to the left. So we will multiply 360 times 0.1667. Okay, ulitin ko, na-move lang po yung ating dalawang decimal places. Okay, so magiging 0.1667. Therefore, we will get a roughly 60 degrees. Okay, so most probably mga 60 degrees. Pwede nating isulat muna dito sa gilid. Yan yung angle na magagawa natin. So we can now start creating the angle. Okay, now na na-drawing na natin yung portion, pwede na nating i-label. So we can just write here, weekly savings. Okay, aside from writing the label, sulat din natin kung ilang percent siya. So it is 16.67%. Okay, now let's proceed to the next one, next portion. So kung mamimili tayo, mas maganda unahin natin yung mas maliit kasi mas madali itong i-drawing using the angles. 360 times 0.0833. Okay, ulitin ko, nag-move lang po yung decimal point 2 decimal places to the left. Okay, therefore ang sagot natin is 29.98 degrees. Okay? Pwede nating isulat muna dito pansamantala 29.9. Okay? Or pwede nating i-round off ito, gawin na nating 30 degrees. Okay? So 30 degrees ang gagawin natin for the second portion. Okay, ngayon na natapos na natin yung second portion. Okay, as you can see, nandito na rin yung third portion natin, which is yung 75%. Yun na yung needs. So we don't need to convert this into angle anymore kasi nandyan na siya. So all we have to do is to write here now yung label needs, which is 75%. Okay, pwede na nating erase yung mga sinulat nating measurement of angles. Okay, so there you have it. That's how you make a pie chart. Pwede nyo na itong kulayan. Pwede use different colors for each category to make a pie chart visually appealing and easy to understand. Now, having a pie chart is also important para mas madali nating makita visually kung saan napupunta yung ating weekly income. So ito lahat yung weekly income mo. Napupunta siya sa wants, weekly savings and needs. 75% napupunta sa need, which is good. And then 16.67 napupunta siya sa savings. Okay, for your wants, you can actually minimize this kung gusto mo pang bawasan ito at idagdag mo sa weekly savings. Okay, the last part is yung reflection. Actually, ito yung isa sa pinaka-importante kasi practically when we are making a financial plan, dapat nire-review natin siya every now and then para malaman natin kung saan tayo kailangang mag-adjust sa wants pa or sa needs or saan tayo pwedeng magdagdag sa source of income ba para mas maging effective yung ating financial planning. Now, dito, kailangan din natin ng signing off, okay, for us to be accountable and committed sa ating purpose. Na dapat ito ay hindi lang ginagawa for our school requirements, pero ginagawa natin to para ma-develop natin yung habit. Nang sa ganon, in the future, makatulong din ito sa atin. Alright, so yun po yung ating financial planning. I hope nakatulong po itong video na ito sa inyo at meron po kayong natutunan. Okay, now for my fellow teachers who wants to avail of this template, pwede nyo pong i-click yung ating link dyan sa description to inquire of the templates and other worksheets including yung mga PowerPoints po na nagamit natin dito sa ating channel for the first quarter. Thank you very much for watching and see you on the next video. Kung meron kang natutunan sa video na ito, please click the subscribe button to support this channel para mas matulungan ulit kita sa mga susunod mo pang math lessons. Lagi mong tatandaan, ang math ay para sa lahat. At ako si Teacher Van, nagsasabing dito sa Math Isip, lamang ang nag-iisip. God bless and see you on the next video. Bye-bye.